Welcome to another Euro Goodness unboxing. Today we're going to be taking a look at Seven Empires designed by Mac Gertz and published by Rio Grande Games, who kindly provided this copy. So I don't know a lot about this game, but this is the designer of Concordia, I believe. And that's a really classic, well-loved Euro that we have. It's a really fun game. So this is, I think, kind of a little bit of like a civilization area control game, but I think you are kind of almost investing in the different countries as almost like more of like a stock mechanic, and I think whoever controls them is allowed to determine what actions they take. Also, like just to point out real quick, the box art's like pretty cool. It looks like a book on the side. Really cool. All right, heavy box too. All right, let's see what we got here. So tons and tons of wooden components. We'll take a look at those in a moment. Some cards. Okay. Would have been nice if there was a crossband the other way to keep them from separating, but they almost slipped out there. Okay, and then there's, oh, these are nice. Oh, these are cool. They remind me of the little boxes in like Obsession. Yeah, these are cool. So there's several of these, and then one that's for Seven Empires. So I don't know. There's 4 of them. So interesting. And then a couple of big bags, which were nice. And then we have, oh, there we go. This isn't English. Oh, okay, I see. They did it in English and probably German the other way. This is like all history, talking about the different monarchs, I guess, of these countries that are involved in this conflict. So there's a lot of like historical stuff. This is actually really interesting. So I'll probably read through this later because I always enjoy learning like the theme and the background history of the games. So I'm glad that they included that. Then we have the rule book here. Okay, so it's a fairly thin rule book. Doesn't seem too bad at all. Okay, yeah, so just these are all the components over here on this page. And then the game setup. This is giving me very strong Concordia vibes, like the way that the boxes are and the diagrams. Hopefully it's a little more straightforward to parse through the rules. Okay, and an example as well. Okay, and then game flow. Lots of text here. A little bit, some examples here on moving and fighting. And then some more actions with some more. It looks like there's good examples here. Okay. Then some more different attacking, and like I said, I don't know a lot about this game. Just that anyone that's played it has really enjoyed it, and I'm very much looking forward to diving in and trying it. And some game end and scoring. So it's not a particularly long rule book, and it's probably not that complicated a game. So yeah, it seems good. All right, and then we have lots of punch board and then the game board. So we will take a look at that. Okay, we got like some medium thickness punch board. Looks pretty solid. Okay, lots of little counters. This is giving me like war game vibes. These little like little chits and stuff that you probably put out on the map for control of areas and stuff. Okay, interesting. Like I said, not super familiar with it. So this is in German, so I'm hoping English is on the other side, and it is. Okay, so these are player aids, because it plays, I think this plays up to 6, but yeah, 2 to 6 players. Okay, so some player aids over here. That's nice. And then some more tokens here. Yeah, for the different like factions and their ships and everything. Okay. So everything looks nice, looks pretty functional. And then we have the board here. Let's set this aside for a moment and then we can look at some of the wooden components. There are a ton of wooden components. These are all like chips of different sizes. So these are pretty cool. So there's like a couple different ships. There's like small and large ships that have like 2 and 3 sails. That's pretty cool. And there's just like a ton of these things. I guess these are in the different nations, and like an absolutely gigantic pawn, which is really cool. And then some influence track markers and stuff like that. So that's fun. And then there's some more components here. All right, you got some really large hex markers here, and then like little workers or soldiers or something. So there's a bunch of these in all the different colors. Yeah, just like a ton of really nice wooden components. So this has got a very like kind of old school vibe to it, but I think it's really cool. I'm excited to to try this out. And then we have some cards here. Okay. Let's see. Workers, are they in English on one side? Maybe. Yeah. Looks like German on one side, English on one side. Okay. So these are the different cards. They're actually like pretty thick cards. They're pretty stiff. Yeah, so these are nice. Okay. And I guess these are for the different empires as well. They seem to be the different colors that match up with the pieces. So nothing too elaborate here, but the art on them is, it's functional. It makes it look like the type of game you would expect it to be. And yeah, so these are nice. And then I don't know if these are setup cards or Otoma. Okay. Not too sure about these. Look like some player aid cards on your turn here. Okay, but the cards are they're mini cards, but they're good quality. They're like nice and thick and stuff. So those are good. Let's take a look at the board. All right. So this board looks very large. Oh boy. What did I do? I think this is one of those boards that folds one way and then the other. Yeah, it does. Okay. This is one of these. It's not the other style of board. Okay, so let's flip this around. This looks... Yeah, I think this is German on one side and English on the other side. Okay. Well, I had it right the first time. So let's try this again. All right. Okay. That is correct. All right, so I'll just have to like pan this around so you can see. But down the left side of the board, you have all of the different empires, and then there's I don't know if it's like era 1, 2, and 3, but markers for them, but maybe based on influence. You have a track here, maybe determining who has the most power in the thing in the game state, and then I guess these are points at the end of the game based on the influence that you have in them. So this is pretty neat. And then there's just like there's a victory point track around the outside, and then a really nice map here that I can show you. It's quite large, but it's basically a map of Europe here. It very much gives me Concordia vibes, but yeah, it's really it's a nice map. It looks nice. Production's really nice. So definitely excited to learn a little bit more about this and to try it out. So that's 7 empires. So that's all the content that's in there. Once we get to play it a couple times, I'll post some impressions up on Instagram and let you know how it goes. It plays up to 6, and I'm sure that it's probably a little more interesting with more people, but we will try it at our player count of 2 and give some first impressions, and then we'll see if we can get a larger group to play this at some point, because it looks really good. I've heard great things about it, and so I'm excited to get it to the table. So once again, thank you to Rio Grande Games for providing this copy. And if you enjoyed this content, please consider subscribing. Please comment and like the video, and look out for more content to come. All right. Have a nice day. Thank you.